This tutorial is for Mobius homework, lesson 4, homework question number 7. Janine built a raised garden bed that is 13 feet long, 5 feet wide, and 3.5 feet tall. She plans to fill the garden bed with a premium soil that costs $13.81 per cubic yard. Recall that 1 yard is the same as 3 feet, or equals 3 feet. How much will it cost Janine to fill her garden bed with premium soil? So the first thing I did is I just gleaned all the information and threw it down so that I don't have to keep looking through all of the words in the English story problem. It just helps me visualize it with my own learning personality. So I just gleaned that it's 13 feet in length, it's 5 feet in width, and 3.5 feet in height. So that's just something that helps me to see it. Then I can see that it's 13.81, 81 cents per cubic yard for her soil. So I see first of all that her bed has been measured with feet and the soil is being measured with yards. So I have two options. I can either solve the problem first and then convert it because I need to get to yards at some point, or I can convert her measurements here to yards and then I don't have to convert later. It doesn't matter, whatever your preference is, and so I just picked one. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to find the volume first and then I'll convert at the end. It doesn't matter either way. So over here, our volume for her raised garden bed will be length times width times height, which is 13 times 5 times 3.5. And if I want to throw in the measurements as well, it was 13 feet, 5 feet, and 3.5 feet. Now the only reason I would do that is so that it reminds me the units here, and because I have feet times feet times feet, that's feet cubed or cubic feet, just as a reminder that you're working with 3 dimensions. So then I have feet cubed. Again, if you wanted to convert all of these first to yards, so you'll end up with 1 point something yards here for the height. It's up to you, and you can do that if you'd like. So I'm going to come over here and just find the volume quick. We'll put volume so that I know what I'm calculating here equals this times this times this, and that's just fast, easy cell referencing, just left clicking, pressing enter. So I know that I have Janine has 227.5 feet cubed, or you can write it out cubic feet, either way. Okay, so now that I have her cubic feet for the volume, now I'm going to go ahead and do the conversions. So to do that, I'm going to kind of take over my screen a little bit so that you can see, and also so that I can reach all of my buttons here. I'm going to go in for my equation editor and insert an equation here and give myself a couple of these fractions so that I can do my conversions. Now the first thing I always do when I'm doing a conversion is I want to know what I want to get to at the end. So it told me that I want to get to cubic yards, if I recall. Yep, cubic yards. So I'm going to put cubic yards on the top, and that tells me what I'm working towards as my answer. So over here, I'm going to start with my 227.5 cubic feet. Now I don't have anything like I did on the jet problem, so I don't need to worry about underneath the fraction bar on these two, but I will be using the numerator and the denominator for the conversions here. Now if you're uncomfortable with that, go ahead and put a 1. Anything divided by 1 is whatever it is, so that it doesn't matter. I apologize for my alarm going off. Okay, so then here we have our answer. We're working towards cubic yards and we'll get there. We don't have the answer here, so if you want to give yourself some space saying we're working there. Okay, the first thing I need to, I'm going to change something here, and I'm going to rewrite cubic feet as feet oops, feet times feet times feet. That way I can visualize that I need to get rid of the feet 3 times and replace it with yards 3 times so that I have my cubic feet and my cubic yards, which means I need another one of these in here. I apologize, we'll toss it in. Okay, so the first thing I need, again, with my unit conversions, if I have something on the top and something on the bottom, it will cancel out. So I'm going to put feet here. That would cancel out with one of those. I also need another feet to cancel out with this one. And the last one, again, I need to cancel out this last feet. That tells me I have one on top and on bottom 3 times, so they'll cancel out. Now I need to go in and put in the numbers for the unit conversions. I was told over here that 1 yard is 3 feet. So for each of these, I'm going to put 1 yard for 3 feet, and that's my conversion. Again, 1 yard for, 3 feet, and last again, 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. Now the reason unit conversions work is when I multiply by 1, it gets whatever is being multiplied by. 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times apple is apple, you know, whatever it is. So 1 is that really unique thing, because 1 yard divided by 3 feet, even though their units are different, it actually is 1, because 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. So I'm not changing anything value-wise by multiplying by 1 times 1 times 1. It's just a different variation of 1. So right here, I'm going to come home and show that this foot cancels out with this one cancels out with this one, and this one cancels out with this one. The yards are not canceling out with anything because there's no yard on the bottom. So I end up with yard times yard times yard, which is cubic yards, and that's what I wanted to get to. That was where my roadmap led me. This is what I was looking for. So I have 227.5 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 227.5. Then I have 3 times 3 times 3, and there's no units down here, so it's just 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, or 3 cubed is 27, however you want to think of that. And now we're going to shrink this down just a little bit so I can get back to Excel, and I can finish the conversion here by dividing my 227.5 by 27 to equal how many cubic yards. So it'll simplify my fraction here. So I'm going to press equals to get it to calculate. I'm going to cell reference by just clicking left 1 time and let go. Divide by 27, enter, gives me 8.425. Anyway, this is in cubic yards now. Okay, so that's the first part. All I've done now is convert I found the volume, and I converted that volume into cubic yards. The next part of the question is actually the final part, which is how much will it cost to fill her garden bed with the premium soil? Now that I have cubic yards, I can now times this by the cost per cubic yard, which will give me the total. So we'll do our 842 times our 13.1, and let's put that down here for our total, equals. Using Excel, I can just left click here, cell reference my 8.42 cubic yards, multiply by the price, press enter, and I end up with $116.36. Okay, 116.36. Sorry, had to take a pause there quick, and we can verify how did I do, look for that green check, and move to the next one.